Hello again, I'm Blunty, and today, just in case you're a bit hard of thinking, I'll be reviewing ModNation Racers, a game which can be best described as the bastard child of Mario Kart and Little Big Planet. It's an arcade-style racer with a very heavy focus on user-created content in every aspect of the game. On first glance, many gamers, including myself initially, I must admit, may assume that ModNation Racers is yet another Mario Kart clone in a thick soup of countless other Mario Kart clone games that have come, sucked up the place, and disappeared again to leave Mario untouched as king of the kart racing world. ModNation Racers, though, is different. Sure, it looks superficially like any one of approximately a bazillion other kart games with bright, cutesy graphics, squeaky characters and all the rest of the cliches, but never judge a book by its cover, folks, because despite the cartoony presentation style, ModNation takes its racing much more seriously than the other kart games. To excel at this game, you're going to need skill, you're going to need craft, and unlike Nintendo's mustachioed racer, in this game, luck doesn't play much of a part. There's no sneaky CPU rubber bandy style catch-up if you get a huge lead. There's no blue shell or lightning bolt weapon to suddenly give the guys at the back of the pack a massive advantage. You're going to have to earn your wins the old-fashioned way, by skilled driving and shrewd weapons strategy. Even against the computer opponents who are much more aggressive than I'm used to seeing in this kind of game. They're bastards, really. And in this game, it's not all about attack either. You've got both offensive and defensive abilities, like a temporary shield that can, if you time it just right, and if you've got some boost power stored up, protect you from other weapons. But again, you're going to have to earn it the hard way. This isn't your daddy's star power-up here, folks. You can also choose to play a more pure racing game by selecting a racing mode that removes the crazy exploding weapons from the track altogether and just rely on pure hardcore racing skill. And while the gameplay is much more challenging and complex than you may expect, the same is true of the controls. Every one of the face buttons on the controller and all four shoulder buttons on the PS3 and both analog sticks are used. Unlike Mario Kart, you won't be teaching this one to your non-gamer friends in just a few minutes and be having some party races almost instantly. You gotta learn your way around this game. Now, I've gone on a bit about the complexity here, but don't let that scare you off, because in the story-driven career mode, the game is designed to gradually and progressively teach you every trick, technique, and skill you're gonna need to start kicking ass. And it does it superbly, frankly, weaving the tutorials into actual races with courses specifically designed to focus on the techniques you're learning, and then weaves these skills into achievements and challenges to accomplish in order to unlock bonuses like extra items or customization, etc. The rest of the single-player career mode is just as highly polished, with a simple story mode, wonderful voice acting, and some very amusing, very witty dialogue. The two snarky announcers are particularly entertaining in my opinion.
I'm the gorgeous Biff Treadwell, and with me as always is painfully boring statman, Gary Raisins.
Actually, Biff, it's Reasons, Gary Reasons.
After 10 years, I still don't care.
I started this review focusing on the racing side of the game because, quite honestly, if that was shit, the rest wouldn't be worth your time. And the rest I talk about here is of the extensive modification. You've got an absurdly ridiculous level of creation tools available to you here. And although when you really start digging into it, they're some of the most powerful I've ever come across in any game of this type, they're also deceptively simple and intuitive. No real tutorials are needed here, folks. You can figure it out in a few minutes and then spend many more minutes going nuts creating your racer mods, tweaking your ride and crafting your own tracks. They all share a common interface too, so once you know how to do one, you can do it all. It's wonderfully designed. And of course you can share your creations by uploading them and in turn downloading mods from other users, most of which will make you feel like an ashamed noob because there's some awesome stuff out there already that I can't even begin to imagine how they possibly started creating these things and made them look so awesome. I feel like a child really when I look at these. And much to my surprise, I've not stumbled across one penis-shaped track yet, which is normally the first go-to spot for these user-created games. ModNation Racers really is a superbly crafted game. Every corner of it feels highly polished and made with real passion. It looks beautiful, it sounds wonderful, and it's filled with a variety of challenge and fun. Although I and many more will instinctively try and compare it to Mario Kart, This really is a different beast under the hood. The only real frustrations I faced were sometimes the controls, both in race and in the creation modes, felt a little bit oversensitive, and fine control was a bit awkward at times. That may be my failing, I don't know. Also, even though there's a mandatory hard drive install on the PS3 version, load times feel excessively long. And in a game that's all about tear-assing around as fast as you can, plodding through load screens can feel even longer than they really are. ModNation Racers is available exclusively on the PlayStation 3 and the PSP. And while I haven't spent any time on the PSP version in this review, I do have it and I have played it. It is dumbed down slightly, of course, but for all intents and purposes, it plays close enough to identical to its big brother to not really need a separate review from me, though its load times are faster. If you like your racing games, whether it's the serious type or the arcade insanity, I'll tell you to definitely take a close look at ModNation Racers. It's got the serious challenge and the stupid fun that both types will dig, and the user creation tools can suck up entire days. Take it from me, take my word for it, it will destroy entire days at a time, crafting the perfect mod, the coolest ride, and hours and hours and hours of relentless tweaking to sculpt the perfect track. I tend to make tracks that have little rises in them when they're going around corners, so you fly off the track sideways and then have to restart because you've flown off the track. I'm really not very good at that. Anyway, I'm Blunty, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.
Welcome to the first race of the season, where ModNation's best will attempt to qualify for the home tour.
We've got over 10,000 cameras ready to film this race.
Actually, Biff, that figure might be slightly exaggerated.
You know what's exaggerated? Your giant forehead. Now can it? 250,000 cameras, 40 blimps, and the space shuttle are filming this race. Let's do this thing!